Hey guys! So today you and I are going to talk about front-end developers and companies and if they ask too much of us. So let's get into it. So the question in question was pretty much, Frederick, do you think that companies ask too much in terms of experience and diversity in tooling and so forth from front-end developers? And I think this is a very fair question because I don't think there is, well, at least I struggle to find anything in IT that requires more diversity when it comes to tooling knowledge than front-end. I mean, sure, you can make a claim for depending on kinda how much operations you do, that you need to know quite a few different things about operations. You can make a claim for, pen testing and stuff like that. There are absolutely areas where you need to know quite a lot of stuff as well, but I don't think for most programmers in standard enterprise development there is anywhere as chaotic as front-end when it comes to tooling and shitty code bases and all that good stuff that we all hold so dear to our hearts. That sort of stuff that makes you a bitter old senior programmer really quickly. It's almost like I can almost go out on a limb and say that it takes you 10 years to become an old, 20 years to become an old bitter backend developer, but in front-end you can get there in 5 years if you just have the exposure to the right code base. So the question is this, because if you have ever looked at just take a look at the job postings for front-end and you will see what this person is asking about and what I'm talking about. The diversity is insane. I actually saw an article not that long ago just listing all the things that the industry kind of expects a front-end developer to know, or like the range of things. And not every company is going to ask for the same thing, but the range. And I think that it was roughly 72 or something items on that list. So the list is quite hefty. But is this reasonable? Well, this is probably going to come as a surprise to you, but I'm just going to go out and say it. Yeah, it is very reasonable. They have I'm going to just pick the side of the big corporation and just say that they are very reasonable. I think that they're asking exactly for the thing that they should be asking for. And what I mean by this is very simple. They have no choice. They have no choice. Because they are a victim of this ridiculously silly damn thing that front-end developers and the front-end community is so obsessed with, that it's only through this that they are ever going to. It's like this is the only way they're going to learn, by forcing. It's like a spiral. The more shit you hype and the more shit you add to your tech stacks and the more diversity that you add into the ecosystem, where everything is treated as it is equal, like everything is equally important, then this is the outcome. This is exactly what the outcome is. You see, the companies, they don't give a shit about the latest framework. They don't give a shit about the latest, coolest library that does something immutable or functional programming or stuff like that. Just in general, what they care about is shipping stuff. They want stuff to work. They want things to happen. And when they hire somebody, they hope, deep down at least, that they're going to be able to hire somebody who knows what the focus of their company is. And they're going to work in accordance with what's going to be best for that company. But see, in front-end you don't really have that sort of guarantee. In back-end they're much better at this. In front-end what you do is that you hire some person who, as I like to call it, they add their mark. And that's the problem. They add their own mark to the code base and the diversity just grows, which causes this uncertainty and diversity in the tech stack. And uncertainty and diversity are the two factors that make up for a job position, like a job specification, that is so loose that you pretty much can just read it as you need to know everything. And the reason why it gets to that point is because the company needs somebody to take care of the mess that they have created over the years. And unless you are the sort of person that can deal with all of this chaos that comes with all this diversity, then how are they going to fix it? Because that's literally what we're talking about. We are literally talking about that the company is trying to, they're trying to hire someone with that amount of experience because that is literally what they require in order to save them from the mess that is their front-end code base. Now the reality on the other hand is that they're going to hire anyone. They will think, quite a lot of companies do, they will think that they are going to hire the best and the brightest, or like the person who knows all of this stuff. What they're actually going to do is that they're going to hire anybody. Anybody who has a working understanding of all of these tools that can kind of work out how the mess that is their front-end code base works. Because the fact of the matter is that true master front-end developers are rare. Like rare. We're talking unicorn rare. We're talking senior back-end DevOps engineer or principal engineer with who have fallopian tubes. That level of rarity, maybe even rarer than that. But you know, finding somebody who basically just has on their CV that they know a few of these stuff and that they kind of work this stuff, and most of the companies, they're going to try to find a master front-end developer, and they're just going to settle for someone who's sort of good. That's what they're going to do. And because you can spit in the air and find somebody who's a junior front-end developer or even a mid-level front-end developer, but this real true masters, the seniors, they are almost impossible to find. And even if you hire such an individual, even if you manage to hire a master programmer, a master front-end programmer, you have no guarantees that this person will be able to solve this problem in an efficient manner. I mean, they can, but it also depends on quite a lot of rewriting and quite a lot of cleaning up, and like that's basically what it is about, like doing the second thing that is very hard, which is literally to get capacity to rewrite something, because rewriting is never a popular topic in any company unless the engineering department is literally losing people at the rate of people dying off in a war or something. Because you know, when you refactor something, you just make things better, but nothing changes, not from the perspective of the business. So I really believe that this is what the companies are doing exactly what they should be doing. I would argue that the change that needs to happen is either within the way that you think about front-end in a company, or the way that you hire front-end developers. Like the perspective is that you think that you need someone who knows all these tools, and that is true to a point, but you should even bump it up one further and say you don't only need somebody who knows the tools, you need a real senior, someone who has a mature mindset around company value. That is what you need, and that's just not, it's almost non-existent in front-end. I mean, the back-end developers have understood this a long time ago, it seems. They managed to keep their tech stack fairly niched towards the things that they need most of the time. It's not always the case, but they do somehow magically they're able to do this. And that level of maturity, or rather the immaturity that exists in front-end, that is the problem. That is the fundamental problem, and it's just beyond me why it feels, grow up, fucking grow up. That's what the problem is. Front-end needs to grow up, and it just doesn't. And this is the outcome. So the companies, in my opinion, they have no choice. I mean, if they had the choice, they would of course be looking for, I mean, no company wants to dish out tons and tons of money on trying to figure out how to find someone who is a master of the code base, because remember, they try to hire these people because the situation is that bad, or that they don't want to get to that situation. But if you could simplify the problem and actually make the front-end experience at the company as simple as possible, they could have an intern do all the things and still keep up the velocity and all this good stuff, right? So what I want you to take away from this is that I definitely think that it is reasonable for the companies to ask for all of this ludicrous amounts of experience from front-end developers. And it is feasible because they don't have a choice. The simple fact of the matter is that the diversity in front-end today is so enormous that if you want to feel confident that you're going to find someone who can take care of all this bullshit or kind of maneuver, especially when you don't know any better, well, what can you do? You're asking for the moon, because the endless possibilities are like literally going to the moon. Like there's so many versions. You know, it's unless you have already a senior that can explain that, oh, you know, you need to focus on these things and these things, and like somebody who's already putting your company in a very good direction, you're going to have to ask for everything. And hopefully when you hire that first senior, if you can find them, they will have that mature mindset and realize what's good for the company, so that future employments or future hires can get, you know, hired without all of this uncertainty. Because trust me when I say this, frontend is a very niche little bubble. Unless you are in on the joke or you really know your stuff, it's really tricky to figure out who's a good frontend developer and who's a bad frontend developer. Have a great day.